Shalom family, Alashai in the building, and you know it's a brew life or no life, and this is when everything is against you. I'm making this video at a very pivotal time in my life right now. I'm getting rid of a lot of negativity at the moment. I'm losing a lot of negative people, negative thoughts, negative habits, and I'm gaining a lot of positivity, and I'm learning a lot of life lessons in life right now. So, and when you understand, I titled this video "When Everything Is Against You," because as a man, we go through times where you have to face the world, and you are at all odds. All odds are against you. You understand? You may have lost all of your assets. You're stuck in a rut. You don't have any ideas on what your next move is. And we're gonna go through a couple scriptures to highlight this, and go through a couple solutions on how we can overcome this feeling. So Deuteronomy 28 and 29, you'll read about how we grope at noonday. And that definition of grope is an uncertainty in search. Is when you're blind. So when you're going through life, and a lot of times there's an uncertainty in search. You don't know where or who or how or what to look for. You're stuck in the rut. You may not know what your next move is. You don't know what your next play is. A lot of times we get stuck in these ruts. And it also says that you'll be spoiled forevermore in Deuteronomy 28 and 29. And when you're spoiled, and you read the definitions and the outcomes of being spoiled in this context, it's a harm done to your character by how you're being treated. Because when all odds are against you, you may feel like you can't get along with anybody. You know, you find yourself in arguments constantly. You find yourself at disagreements with your household and people that's near and close to you. You find yourself, you find a harm being done to your character because you feel like you can't get right. You feel like you're not doing anything right at the time. But when you go to Proverbs chapter 29 and verse number 18, you'll see that you have to have a vision. It starts with a vision. Right, it starts with that motivation, and there's multiple ways you can build your motivation, because that's also something that a lot of people deal with, including myself, is a lack of motivation, not being motivated to take that next step. Motivation, you have to cultivate incentives for yourself. There has to be a motive to your drive. There has to be rationale in your actions. And step one is going to be to read. Reading is one of the best assets to help you build motivation, to help you build a creative mindset. Reading will foster imagination to help you learn your next step, to help think about what you want to do next. So when you read Jeremiah 35 and you start at verse number 15 through 19, you really want to read the whole chapter. And when you read those verses, you'll see how reading is very, very, very key to the brain, man. When you want to build positive thoughts, build new habits, build good habits, read the Bible, read other incentive literature and things like that to help get your brain juices flowing, to get you stuck out of a rut. When you read the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse number 6, and Ecclesiasticus, chapter 32 and verse number 18 through 20, you'll understand that once you read and once you do build yourself up with ideas and you do build yourself up with motivation, you'll understand the importance of the people around you. Finding somebody that you're comfortable with to share some of your goals, to share your next move and your plans, to share these things with the people around you. Because sometimes when you leave it up to yourself and you plan out a plan, you leave it up to your own man, a lot of times your heart and your mind, your emotions get the best of you. So you want to have people that you're comfortable with, people that are experienced, that are smart around you, that can give you good advice, man, to keep moving on that righteous path. So I also wanted to share this with you guys. This is a commonplace book full of inspirational quotes and things of that nature, and you have the author placed at the bottom. So I strongly encourage you to look over it and look into them. And this one says, as Jose Marti, the Cuban revolutionary, said, the best way of telling is doing. This does not mean arbitrary confrontations, rampages through the streets, knocking down old women. We can't be anarchists and emotionalists. We have to be clear-headed and organized. An example of this type of cool-headedness is the fact that young students cut their hair and took the time to go into the white middle class communities to rally support for this trial and for this cause of justice in the United States. Breaking windows, snatching pocketbooks will never lay a foundation for the long, hard struggle ahead. Politicizing and educating the various segments of the young, the open-minded, and concerned will. You don't need to be an auto mechanic to drive your car. When you run out of gas, you know enough to get yourself to the gas station. You don't assume your car is hopelessly broken. You don't need to be a doctor to treat the symptoms of the stomach flu. When you start feeling sick, you know enough to stay hydrated and rest. You don't think, this is just who I am. You don't need a degree in neuroscience to get unstuck. When you find yourself so amped up you can't focus or so exhausted you can't function, you just need to know enough about your brain to get an effective solution.